On Live Your Best Life Unscripted, we explore ideas and individuals that inspire better living. And today's guest is a true game changer in the skincare industry. Joining us today's episode is Dr. Shivangi Rana, a leading dermatologist, a trusted digital voice, and someone who is helping thousands to cut through the noise in the world of skincare. She is known for combining clinical science with everyday practicality, no fluff, no filters. In this episode, we unpack what really works, how to build a routine you will stick to, why ingredients awareness matters, and how skincare is actually a true form of self care. Let's get into it with Dr. Shivangi Rana. Dr. Shivangi, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
While we were talking during lunch, you mentioned that you're coming from Chennai. So, what were you doing in Chennai?
So there was actually a event wherein we had to do a beach cleanup.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like a little bit of skincare, a little bit of environmental friendly activities. You know, just good skin with a side of saving the planet.
That's
Precisely.
nice. That's nice. So, how does skincare fit into beach cleanup?
So that is actually a really good question. What happens is that a lot of products that we are buying are not recyclable. The packaging kind of just becomes a dump which we throw, and that plastic stays in the the environment and specifically in the ocean for a very long time. So it's really important, and I feel that it's high time that brands kind of incorporate sustainability as a really important measure, because that helps us go a long way.
With that note, I think I'm going to love this session with you, this conversation with you. You know, Dr. Shivangi, so many people look upon you as, about skincare, okay? And you put it in a very different way, whether it be scientific or personal. Now, let's go back, a few years back, okay? And let's try and understand, was this something you wanted to do to help people beautify themselves about the skin?
Yes, there's a really long story behind me becoming a doormat. So as a child, when I was like really young, I was like 7, 8 years old, I had atopic dermatitis. This is a condition not a lot of people are aware of, but it's a genetic condition, very common. So my mother had it, she gave me and my brother the same condition. Now, atopic dermatitis is basically different because some people it comes in skin. Some people can have frequent upper respiratory tract infections, pneumonia. My brother got the lung version of it, I got the skin version of it. And when I was younger, I used to not be able to tolerate, so I'm born and brought up in Delhi, really cold. And I would not be able to tolerate the woolen, the wool basically, it caused irritation. It would be really itchy, and I would tell my mother that something is wrong, I cannot tolerate this. And she'd just be like, no, it's nothing. Everybody can wear it, you can wear it too. Then as I grew up, my atopic dermatitis got converted into keratosis pilaris, which is strawberry skin. I'm sure a lot of people know about that. So I would have really bad flare of acne on my, the arms, upper arms. And everyone who would see me would be like, what happened to your arm? And that was such a tender age, like, 13, 14, you're just becoming aware of how your body is, how you look. And that constant pointing would make sure that I am at a dermat's clinic at least once a week.
Oh.
So then I thought that, okay, if I have to sit here all the time, I might as well become a dermat. That is where it started. It was very personal in the start. Then there was, of course, teenage acne. Everybody suffers from that. So I had my share of it. And then I realized that, okay, skin is not just what is happening outside. It has a huge psychological impact. When you're growing up and you have skin issues, it kind of changes your personality. It makes you a little introvert. It makes you a little not so outgoing. So I thought, yeah, this is something I would really like to help people with because it's deeper than they think.
Oh, that's nice. When you talk about deeper than they think, and it's all about doing more, I mean, from your experience, I mean, what are those common mistakes people repeatedly keep doing about things? Like you mentioned about Delhi. Has a cold weather.
Yes.
Okay, it's also got a very strong or a hot
Summer.
and equally bad rains.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So what are those common mistakes people keep making during over their skincare regime?
So the one thing I have seen in my patients is that people think that what is their skincare routine today is going to be throughout the year, which is really not how it works, especially in places where weather changes every 2 months. Because you might be using a really thick moisturizer during winters. That same thing is going to clog your pores in summers and monsoon. So people don't change their skincare, and that can really hamper the skin. This is one mistake I see a lot of people make.
And they keep repeating that,
The
doing
same,
it
same.
again and
Yeah.
again. How does, I mean, when we're talking about the weather and the climatic changes and all those things, tell me how important does, humidity play as far as the skin is concerned? Like I was talking to somebody today and somebody sent me a message that the humidity is only 7%.
Oh,
And this is somewhere outside India,
yes.
okay? And where I said, okay, in Bangalore it's 54%.
Yeah.
So does humidity also play an important role?
Yes. So basically, anything which is adequate will work for our skin. More humidity and even the lower 6-7% humidity, both of them are really bad. So when the humidity is really low, there's not enough moisture in the atmosphere. And what happens is that it starts pulling the moisture from your skin and make it really, really dry. On the other hand, when there's a really high humidity, people sweat a lot. That also makes you prone to infections. Fungal infection is something, as soon as monsoon starts, almost everyone starts suffering from fungal infections. Really difficult to treat, really repeated. It keeps coming back. These are all contributed to humidity. If the weather is really dry, you will have dandruff. If the weather is not that dry, it's quite humid, your scalp will become oily, sticky repeatedly. You will have to wash it very frequently. So yeah, whatever is happening around us is really affecting us.
Thank you for that. I mean, also, when we talk about skincare, we also talk about that what you look outside from outside. It is also about what you consume. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me something. When we talk about the outer appearance or looking good from outside, does nutrition and supplement or the kind of food which you eat also makes a difference?
Absolutely. You can keep putting whatever you want on your face. As long as you're not fixing your nutrition and your diet, it's not going to look good. Like you will still see those loopholes, peeking through your skin. As a dermat, I always recommend people to rely on some sort of, be it omega-3 fatty acids, a diet rich in omega-3, a diet rich in zinc. Zinc, if you have acne, works amazingly well. Omega-3 is going to be great for your skin, your hair, your nail. If anybody has dry skin, it is magic, to consume that. Also, what you're eating, how healthy is your diet, how sustainably you can eat healthy for a long time, affects how your skin looks. If you are going out partying, there's alcohol every alternate night, your skin is going to become wrinkled, dry. It's going to be there, it's visible. If you start taking adequate hydration, if you start going to the gym, you start taking care of yourself, your skin will always reflect that, and that glow you really cannot get from applying products.
You talked about going out late nights, partying, that
Yes.
caught my attention because, today we are in this world where there are a lot of youngsters, and
Yes.
there are a lot of people who are the Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and sometimes there are sundowners, sometimes this is, so
Yes.
are you saying that going out, having late nights also affects the skin?
Absolutely. So what happens, see, first of all, if you're going out and you are indulging in alcohol, which is absolutely okay once in a while, but if you're doing it very, very frequently, that affects the skin. It produces a lot of stress in the body, that, antioxidant stress. So there's a lot of oxidative stress for which, if you're doing this, you need to use antioxidants. If you're not doing that, that oxidative stress will catch up. You'll start looking older than you're supposed to look, like, your real age. Your skin will not have that glow. It will become that gray, ashy sort of a skin if you don't take care of it that well. Then there was one more thing you asked about.
It was about going out late, you know, how does
Yeah.
it, yeah.
So the sundowners and
Yeah, the
you know,
sundowners and all, yeah.
yes. Once in a while, absolutely, you have only one life. Enjoy it as much as possible. But if you are into skincare, if you want to take care of your skin, you need to also find the right balance. Going out a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, maybe that will harm.
That's
Maybe
okay?
just Sunday is okay.
Okay.
But frequently, again, yeah, that's going to be not that good.
That good. I also want to understand from you, doctor, is that, you know, you mentioned about the missing, I would say, the minerals which are there,
Yes.
or the nutrition which is there in the normal food or regular food which we take. Do we also say that if those are missing from a food, that can be supplemented through nutraceuticals?
100%. I do that myself. So ChatGPT is on the rise, and I am a very avid user of it now.
Okay.
So I usually put up everything that I have eaten in the day. I just tell Chat that, okay, listen, I've eaten this, this, this. Tell me what all nutrients are deficient still in my diet. And I'm someone who's really taking care of my diet at this point. I'm like roaming around with a weighing scale, you know, like the food weighing scale. So I still realize that even after eating all my greens, even after having a really healthy diet, most of my nutrients were deficient. Yes. And I was shocked to see that, okay, even after putting so much effort, it's still saying your iron is slightly low. Your zinc was moderately almost there. Protein was okay. You took special attention to protein, so it was there. So then I realized that if if even after putting so much effort, it's difficult to meet the nutritional requirements. 100% I would advise that go towards this. Just take, you know, taking the nutrients one way or the other is going to be overall helpful rather than not having them and being deficient in them, because even that has 1,000 other things it brings, you know, health problems.
That was good to hear that. And you mentioned about Chat GPT. That means let me hear from an expert,
Yeah.
and for our viewers also who are watching, how does Chat GPT, help you in identifying your missing needs of nutrients which are required? I mean, the viewers will be excited to hear that, and that too from an expert.
Yeah. So, see, sometimes we read the labels behind the products we are eating. They mention, okay, there's this much this much that, you know. But if you're cooking, say, 2 chapatis, or if you're taking, say, 100 gram of rice, you really don't know how much magnesium, how much zinc, how much iron you're getting from there. So there, ChatGPT plays the role wherein I tell him, like the chat, exactly how much I've eaten, how much of broccoli was there, how much of, I'm a little on the other side of the spectrum here, but I'm doing it actively right now to just understand that even after having a healthy diet, you can be deficient in nutrients. So I would recommend everyone to just do it. It's free of cost. Just go, put whatever you've eaten in a day, see what all you're still deficient in, and it'll really shock you that, okay, there's so much still deficient. Like, you know, my diet is not meeting the requirements.
Okay, perfect. Okay, it's time to get honest and let's be practical. We all want glowing skin, you know.
Yes.
Okay, and what does a good, I don't want to use this word, but a no-nonsense routine,
Yeah.
you know, you would like everyone to follow for a glowing skin?
Okay. See, what happens currently, people are like, products are over marketed. People have a FOMO. They're like, oh my God, this person is using this product. That is why their skin is glowing. So I also want to use that product. They don't understand that their skin type and their skin needs are very different from XYZ person's skin type and skin needs. So when we talk about no nonsense, it's really important that you understand that you have a specific skin type, firstly. You have specific skin concerns. What is working for some person may not work for this person because that was not this person's concern to begin with. They have hyperpigmentation, they have dry skin. I'm using products because I think that, okay, now this person's got glowing skin, so I'll use the same product. But if I don't have dry skin, it's not going to give the same result. So if you want to cut out the fluff, the nonsense, it's really important to understand that, okay, my skin needs this, this, this to get better. So I will focus on only these 3 things, have it really personalized to myself, and then I will see good results.
Awesome. Tell me, is there a different skin routine one must follow in the morning, or a different skin routine in the night or in the afternoon? What would your advice be on that?
Yeah. So when you start with skincare, there's a very basic cleanser, toner, serum, and moisturizer. We call it CTSM. Okay. So this is very simple. I feel everyone should follow this. Now, the cleanser, toner, serum, and moisturizer may differ according to their skin type, but overall skeleton stays the same. If you do that in the morning, you do that in the evening. In the morning, add sunscreen with that. Really important. All of us need it. Because all the efforts that you're putting in to make your skin better, if you're not using sunscreen, it's like, there's a very important thing I want to say. A lot of people use actives. You know, they are using, say, kojic acid, niacinamide, retinol, whatever's trending, they start using it. And they do not apply sunscreen. So now what happens is, suppose your skin was at a 7. You thought, I'll use actives and I'll bring it to a 9.
What is an active, if I may ask you so?
It's an active ingredient, like something that is going to actively change, your skin issues.
Okay.
Okay. So a cleanser is not an active ingredient, it's a part of the routine. This is a specifically added ingredient for whatever concern you have. So say they thought that, okay, it's at 7, I will use these strong products and I will make it to 9. But they don't apply sunscreen. From 7, they go to a 5. So putting in the money, putting in the effort actually became counterproductive.
Okay.
Which people don't realize. So that's why I say sunscreen is very important. Have a basic routine, wash your face twice a day.
Twice a day?
Yes, I would recommend twice a day. Unless you have really sensitive and dry skin, then for the morning wash, you can just use water. Otherwise, using a face wash in the morning and in the evening before sleeping is really important. So that is one thing. Go in with a serum. For whatever concern you have, choose the serum and use that. Go in with your moisturizer. In the morning, go in with a sunscreen. In the evening, after a certain age, you can start using retinols. Or
what are those retinols?
So this is
I'm sorry, I'm going to be asking.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sitting in an expert, even I want to learn.
Yes.
Okay.
So these are anti-age. See, after a certain point, you start aging. Aging is a part of our organs will age, our skin will age, our hair will gray. Everything will start aging. So I'm not saying it's like everyone should do it, to each their own. Like if you want that anti-aging routine, you can start including products that have anti-aging, like, abilities to them. Like they can help you age more gracefully. Retinol is one such ingredient. So after say 25, 26, 27, you see early signs of aging. That time you can start including retinol in your evening routine.
Oh, that's nice. There's been a real shift in people's thinking about skincare,
Yeah.
They are moving towards plant-based or
Yes.
natural-based, and they want to avoid those harsh chemicals being used, on the skin. So let me ask you, what benefit does, the natural ingredients offer, when it comes to a well-rounded skincare regime or a routine?
So see, sometimes what happens, how I mentioned retinol. Some people, retinol doesn't sit well with them. It can cause irritation, it can cause purging, it can cause redness. So for these people, we advise them to go like a little more gentler route, take the gentle route, wherein the ingredient can be bakuchiol.
What can be?
Bakuchiol.
Is that something to do with Ayurveda?
Yes, that has
Okay.
something to do with Ayurveda. So bakuchiol is basically like a plant derivative. It doesn't maybe work as strongly as retinol, but it is a gentler ingredient to begin with. It will also give you anti-aging benefits. So I think this is one place where I would say that, yeah, Ayurveda is present. Another thing is that I have dry skin. So I really like face oils. Again, oils and Ayurveda go hand in hand. And I heavily rely on oils, So yeah, oils are one thing that I can say it has come from Ayurveda, and it really complements the modern skincare. Applying oil at night, don't do it if you have like really oily acne prone skin. But if you have dry skin, if you have aging skin, these oils can really help your skin just look more firmer, bouncier, just plumpness in general.
Sometime back, doctor, you also mentioned about the labels.
Yes.
Okay, and today the labels can be very confusing. The ingredients can be very misleading. Okay, so let me ask you, that how important, it is for consumers
Mhm.
to understand what ingredient they're using, what quality should be going for, and how do they identify that what is the best for their skin type.
Yeah. So when it comes to labels, there's one thing I have seen happen all the time. The brands, they claim that they have this ingredient, like whatever, they will market it on the basis of one ingredient. But when you turn the bottle or the packaging and you start reading the labels, the ingredient will be buried really down towards the end. So that's one thing people don't understand, that the ingredients are always listed from the highest concentration to the lowest concentration. So suppose if you're buying a niacinamide or a vitamin C, that ingredient should at least be in the first line of mentioned ingredients. If it is somewhere in the last line, it's as good as not there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that is how you identify the
Yes.
label.
Yes.
I mean, it will be good to understand from you and also for our viewers that, if you can elaborate more on how to understand the label so that, they can
Yeah.
make better choices for their skin in the future.
Yeah. So when it comes to labels, basically two things are really important. First is what all goes in the product. Brands have started becoming really transparent because of the current competition and
The
everything. They've
guidelines
become
also.
very, yes, the
Yeah.
guidelines are very strict now. So they have become transparent. But sometimes we don't know how to read the labels. So they are still able to just, pass easily, like just make it work. When it comes to sunscreen, it's really important to check if the brand is claiming that they have a SPF 50 or PA protection. But the label will not mention any filters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our job as a consumer. We are putting our money into it. You know, everybody out here is trying to make their money. For us, we have to safeguard ourselves. So just check the label. See if whatever protection they're claiming, at least are the ingredients mentioned over, in the packaging. If they're present, yes, they have the filters. If they're not present, the filters are not present. They can claim anything, but protection won't be there. That is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing, as I already mentioned, that when you're reading the label, if you're buying the product for, say, a vitamin C, make sure vitamin C is very early in the ingredient list. It cannot be buried somewhere. It has to be high up there. Only then you are paying for vitamin C and you're getting vitamin C. The third thing you want to focus on the label is what is the concentration. So suppose we start with niacinamide. Ideal concentration is 5%, maximum 10%. If someone's claiming they have 1% niacinamide, again, even if it's really high up there, but it's only 1%, so it's as good as not there.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you again,
Yeah.
and I'm inquisitive. Like I said, I'm not a expert. What is niacinamide? Cinamide?
Okay, so niacinamide is basically a molecule that has a lot of actions. Few being it will help control oil production. So it's basically a scientifically, produced molecule. It will help people who have oily acne-prone skin.
Oh,
So it
okay.
helps to reduce the oil. It will help kind of shrink the pores because the pores look bigger when you have more oil on the skin. It works great as a, people who have oily acne prone skin. So it kind of helps calm down the acne a little bit. So it has all the properties. And niacinamide currently is like the jack of all trades.
Oh, okay.
It does a lot of things.
Okay. No, we talked a lot about the what goes inside the product, how
Yeah.
to read the labels, and sometimes people also think that uh, let me buy this particular product. They don't look at the price, think it's cheap, But tell me something, how does the cheap products harm your skin, or they can have an effect on your skin? Or fake products, there are a lot of
Yes.
fake products also.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be beyond that?
Okay. So when it comes to being cheap and when it comes to being effective, they really don't go hand in hand. Sometimes cheap products, I won't say cheap as in bad quality, but cheap as in comparatively well, like the price value is a comparatively lesser in comparison to what the market value is. So sometimes they can show good results. I personally in spite of having all the resources, I would not want to spend a lot on, say, a face wash or a moisturizer. Because I know that a reasonably priced face wash and a face wash that's costing like a 5 or 6,000 is going to pretty much do the same, wash your skin, you know. So there goes this thing. But when it comes to actives, the actives that we were talking about, vitamin C, retinol, the thing is that to formulate them, it requires a lot of resources. They have to be well formulated, they have to be well packaged, because sometimes if they're not packaged, they lose the effectiveness. So if some brand is selling this for like really cheap, they cannot be putting their money and then going in loss, you know. So maybe they've not put the effort. So I would say that when it comes to actives, when it comes to products that are really supposed to bring the change in your skin, go for not the cheap ones. Go for the products that are marketed at a certain value, because the cheap ones can really harm your skin. Now we've also talked about the fake products.
Yeah.
It is rampant these days because the cut they get is significant. You know, something that's selling for like 2,000 rupees, you make a counterfeit or a fake of it and just sell it for like, so what you've put in is maybe 100 rupee, but you have a margin of a really significant amount. So that is why it has become really, rampant these days. And the problem is that the poor consumer doesn't know how to differentiate a real versus a fake skincare product. Very difficult, you know. So I would say that just make sure you're buying it from reliable sources. You're buying it from reliable platforms that kind of gives you a little bit of reassurance that, okay, yeah, this is a real product. Because when it comes to fake products, the people who are making them are not formulators. They're literally making anything. Once you apply that on your skin, you will have a disrupted skin barrier. By that, I mean your skin will become red. You will have sudden flare-up of acne. The products that were otherwise working well for you will now stop working or start burning your skin. You know, so it's not just that, okay, it's just beauty. When we talk about counterfeit products, it also comes to health now. Sometimes they have heavy metals in them. So heavy metals, when I say, they may have arsenic, they may have mercury, you know, they may have lead. That gets deposited in the skin. And then over the course of time, it will give you side effects. So it's a very health-focused approach to your skin will become good or bad is a secondary thing. Your health will deteriorate. Your skin health will deteriorate. Yeah. So that is why it's very important to make sure that you're buying from the reliable sources.
Tell me something, when you're talking about the retinols or the actives and all, okay, these kind of, I would say, properties or qualities are also there in the age-old science of, Ayurveda.
Yeah, so when I spoke about niacinamide, I said it has some calming properties. Of course, we have turmeric, which has anti-inflammatory and calming properties, you know. So the two sciences are running parallel to each other. They can always like draw in from each other. So that is there. We have aloe vera. If you're talking about Ayurveda, plant-based, aloe vera is the only plant that comes to the mind for the first. So there is aloe vera, and aloe vera has good calming, soothing, cooling, properties, which if you have a disrupted skin barrier, you can always count on products that have aloe vera in them. So yeah, a lot of Ayurvedic products, natural products, like plant-based products, I would say, have soothing properties in them. Yes.
Over lunch, you were mentioning something about the kumkumadi oil.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I have used it for a very long time.
Yeah.
So that is kumkumadi tailam. And even before I was a dermat, I was just a medical student. I was using it, and I would really see like glowing results. And I still have people in my comment section asking that, how's kumkumadi, kumkumadi oils? And I would always tell them that they're amazing because I have firsthand seen the results, and I know it can really brighten up your skin. And I had dry skin, so I used to count on oils a lot. So there was the oil benefit, there was the ingredient, the kumkumadi benefit. I loved it.
Oh, awesome. Good to hear that. And what one understands from you is that skincare is not one size fit for all.
Yes.
So let me ask you, what should the teens or the adults or the aging individuals, focus on when they're talking about or looking at their skincare?
Okay, that's again a very good question because as you age, your skin changes.
Mhm.
When we are younger, when we are like in our teens, we have a lot of acne issues, we have oiliness. So your skin, your glands, under the influence of your hormones, are becoming very active. You know, puberty has just hit, the hormones are at their peak, the glands are overactive, producing a lot of sebum. So we have oily skin, we have acne, we have redness. So their skincare routine has to be different from, say, a 30-year-old. And again, the 30-year-old needs to have a different skincare routine from, say, a 55 to 60-year-old. Because as you go from your teens to your 30s to your 60s, your skin becomes more and more dry.
Uh-huh.
So when you were, say, someone has oily skin, very oily in their teens, by 30s, it will not be that oily. By 60s, even they will start developing dry skin. Someone who's had dry skin like me throughout, it will become even more dry in 30s and worse in 60s, I'm expecting. So of course, your skincare should change as your decades change. In your teens, focus more on salicylic acid, focus more on products that reduce the oiliness. In your 30s, start focusing on anti-aging, like how I mentioned. That, okay, now your skin will start showing wrinkles, fine lines. So focus on that. In your 60s, anti-aging skincare, I would say, is okay, but it's not gonna give that drastic a result. Things have already, the lines have set in, and whatever has to happen has happened. In your 60s, focus more on hydration, oils, a lot of like gentle products, hydrating products. That is what your approach should be when you are at 60.
Tell me something. We all talk about serums.
Yes.
Okay. Now, serum is for all age type, or a serum should be used when you age?
No. So serum is basically like how we have a cleanser. Similar way we can have a serum. It's just something that is more liquidy in concentration, like in the consistency, and has a particular concentration of whatever ingredient. So this is something you can use throughout, but the type of serum you are using will change.
Okay.
So again, I said salicylic acid for teens. That is a serum which has salicylic acid that teenagers can use. Retinol can be a serum, again, to be used by people in their late 20s, early 30s. We can have hydrating serums, serums with hyaluronic acid, serums with cica and all these things for people who are more, older. So that helps with hydration. So serum is a very generalized term, like how a sunscreen is, a moisturizer is.
Correct.
Similarly, we have a
Correct.
serum.
Yeah. Okay, we talked about, the ingredients, we talked about things. There's also a joke about something about the beauty sleep. Okay. I don't know whether it's a myth or not, but how does, the sleep affect your skin, and what are the signs to watch out, on the skin if you're not sleeping well?
Yeah. So it's not a myth, it is not even a joke.
Okay.
I personally feel that myself, if I don't sleep well, I'm not a morning person. I cannot get up in the morning. If I'm made to get up in the morning 3 consecutive days, my skin will be even more dry. I will have visible dark circles. It is just like a drastic difference. You can just see and tell that, okay, you've not slept. So sleep has a really good role to play. Sleep is basically the time where everything in our body goes in like a healing mode. Your skin starts healing itself, your whatever, the body just goes in a relaxing and a healing mode. When you don't give it that stress that comes because of lack of sleep is visible everywhere. So you will have dark circles, you can have really dry skin, your skin will just overall start looking dull. And let's not talk about the irritation lack of sleep causes, and you're just not a likable person then. So yeah, your skin and your mental health, they're both really, like helped.
They go hand in hand.
Yes, with good sleep.
So you're saying sleep
Yeah.
enhances your skin.
Yes, 100%.
So if you have a good sleep, it will enhance your skin, and you will feel better, you will look good.
So I want to add one thing. That is why we have like a different AM and PM skincare routine.
Oh, sorry?
AM is like the morning routine.
Correct.
and PM is like the evening
PM,
routine.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So they are supposed to be different, and I'll tell you why. In the morning, our skin is in a protective mode. You know, we have pollution, we have sun, we have anti like oxidative stress. So mornings are to just shield it and let these things not affect you that much. But in the evening is when I also tell my patients that okay, this is the time wherein we start repairing the damage that has already happened and that may have happened that particular day. So in the evening routine, we will tell them, okay, start using whatever anti-pigmentary serums or your retinols, which are anti-aging serums, because that is when your skin is most receptive to them, and that is when your skin is bringing about the difference that you want to see. Your morning, the skincare is not really helping you that much. It's just
Okay.
protecting you.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard from an expert here that if you sleep well, you can enhance your skin and your skin will look good. So, doctor, there is another, myth
Uh-huh.
or a magic word called the usage of magic creams. Okay. Or there are some routines, which sound too good to be true. So, let me ask an expert here, a doctor here, what's that one skincare myth you would want, our viewers or the people stop believing about,
The first thing is that they should stop believing that their skin can change overnight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they think usually what happens, that's a human tendency to not act till the last minute. And then the last minute they want everything changed suddenly. Doesn't happen. Skincare is like a lifestyle. Like how we go to the gym, you're supposed to keep your body in shape by going to the gym for a very long time. So there's one myth wherein I'll use this for like 2 weeks and my skin will change. That doesn't happen. The next myth is that people believe that oily skin people don't need a moisturizer. Because they're like, my skin is already so oily, why do you want to put more, moisturizer on that? But they don't realize that oily skin is producing more oil because you're not giving it the hydration it needs. If you start hydrating, the glands will calm down and not produce as much oil. So they think that, okay, I'm not applying a moisturizer, my skin is going to become less oily, but it in turn becomes more oily. So that is one myth that I have seen a lot of people, believe. When we talk about magic creams, I really want to talk about that here because I have so many patients who have fallen for these magic creams.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a lot of these creams, they either have a hydroquinone in them or a steroid in them. Both of these are really harmful ingredients. When I say really harmful, I want to emphasize that your skin may never go back to being normal again. They can applying these things for like say a month or 2 or 3 under the guidance of a dermat is one thing. Becoming completely dependent on them will really ruin your skin. And I've had patients come in the OPD and tell me that I'm applying this for the last 18 years.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, what is it? Like, and I see that they've been applying a steroid for 18 years
On the skin?
Yes. And then I'm just like, how can I help you now? Because the damage is 18 years long.
What kind of damage does it do?
So steroid basically firstly makes your skin really sun sensitive.
Oh,
Okay. So when you start going out, I'll tell you why is steroid misused in the first place. Initially, it gives a lightening effect on the skin. Your skin becomes visibly lighter. So people feel that, oh, this is the magic cream that can make me go 3 shades or 4 shades lighter and I need it. They start using it. The thing is that once they become 4 shades lighter, they can't stop using it because they become dependent on it. Now the dependence is not beauty. The minute you stop using a steroid, that day your skin will burn. It'll be extremely irritated red. If you go out in the sun, you cannot tolerate sun. And also they start developing more hair on the face. So hair on the face, really fine hair, but just everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you were trying to get like 3 or 4 shades lighter skin, you end up getting 5, 6, 7 shades darker skin in the long run. And they still can't stop using it because they cannot stand the irritation it causes when they're not using the cream. Now for their skin to just be normal, like the new normal, the bad normal, they have to use that cream. So they become, it's like an alcohol addiction.
Addiction, yeah.
Yes, it's like that. They just can't let it go until they come to a dermat, and we have to have like a proper routine for them. And then also, I would say it takes years to get back to normal.
You see, this conversation is getting very interesting. There's another thing, which people talk about. There's a lot of usage of lasers today on the skin.
Yeah.
How does the lasers affect the skin?
Okay. Laser, I would say, is like a boon for modern medicine. Like currently, for the skin specifically, I want to talk about, because we have a lot of different lasers. There is one sort of laser which is basically going to burn the top layer of your skin, and burn like in the good way. So that is a fractional CO2 laser, wherein we can just, suppose you have hyperpigmentation and it's a couple of layers thick. So what we can do is we can burn it and just remove those layers easily, so that the skin gets, like better quicker. Sometimes the ingredients, they don't penetrate that deep. So lasers come into play. We have hair reduction lasers currently. Again, a boon. I mean, I have gotten it done for myself, and I cannot imagine getting monthly hair removal sessions, because it was really taxing when I was younger. Changed my life. I don't have to worry about it. So again, amazing laser for hair reductions. Then we have lasers that will help with pigmentation, So I'm not just talking about sun-induced pigmentation. Sometimes we have patients with pigmentary disorders. It's not something that sun has caused. It's their genetics that have given them, like, suppose a gray color pigmentation on the whole face, on the back, on the front of the chest, For them, we do these pigmentary lasers. It kind of breaks down the pigment. So it breaks the melanin or whatever pigment that has deposited. So I think lasers work great in current day scenario.
Okay, thank you so much. You have shared some, incredible insights and, experiences. Now let's switch gears now. Okay, let's ask you some fun questions. Okay, and discover your, I would say, skincare secrets.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. One routine you love and you use daily.
So I try to keep my skincare very simple. In spite of the fact that I'm getting 1,000 products delivered to my house on a daily basis, because that's my job and I have to test them out. Personally, I try to limit my routine to 3 to 4 ingredients. That's it. I cleanse my face twice daily. I've never walked out without a sunscreen in a really long time. And when I say sunscreen, I also want to say that I've been really for protective clothing and umbrellas, because I know that sunscreen is not protecting you as much as we want to believe that it is. Tanning is still happening, pigmentation is still happening. So I rely on protective sun gears a lot. And in the night, I use my normal moisturizers. I have dry skin, so I heavily rely on moisturization. I think that brings some glow and some bounciness to my skin.
Along with the serum or just the moisturizer?
No, I use serums. I alternate them. I have a cycle of serums to be used.
Okay.
But daily, I would use only one.
Okay.
Not like 5 serums.
Okay. Most overhyped skincare trend?
So like how we were just discussing, daily I use one serum.
Okay.
People believe in using a lot of serums in one go. Okay. So what they do, they will basically use 4 or 5 actives in one go. And this is a trend. I'm seeing it on Instagram every now and then. They start doing their nighttime skincare routine. They keep doing it. There's one product, and then second, and then third, and then fourth, and then fifth, and then sixth. And I'm just like, how are you doing this?
Okay.
Because it will, and sometimes some people have more resilient skin. You don't know who's watching it. They would think that, okay, yeah, I need to like use 5 different serums or 5 layers of this. Only then my skin will become better. But that really makes me, it bothers me, because it kind of really hampers, like, disrupts the skin barrier.
Your go-to skin food?
I really like avocados.
Oh, I love them too.
I love them, and they have all the good omegas and fatty acids, everything. Like, I really feel that it is like a wholesome food to have, really filling, helps me control my cravings, gives me all the good oxidants and good fats for my skin.
What is that one avocado dish you love the most? I love avocado on toast.
Same. Avocado on toast. I put some cheese. I put, the base will be like a basil paste. And then I will put avocado.
Pesto.
Pesto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Avocado, cheese with a little bit of garnishing, and that's it.
Awesome. Okay. One skincare crime that makes you cringe.
I have talked about steroids. I think it's a crime. I think government should come up with better regulations to stop that from happening because people are not aware of how they're damaging their skin. You know, it really needs some addressing done there.
Fantastic. It's been a beautiful conversation with you, and let's end on something beautiful, which is confidence. What would you say to someone who's struggling to accept their skin? Do you have any personal mantra or any advice you would like to give?
Yes. So while I myself was suffering from teenage acne, I got mirrors removed from my room because I would just constantly stand in front of the mirror and keep crying. So I got the mirrors removed from my room. And my mother, once she came and she was like, I will love you irrespective of how you look.
Nice.
And that was really kind of comforting to know that whatever happens to my skin, the people around me are not going to change. They will still love me, That gave me some sort of confidence that, okay, this is one thing I can work on, but know your value, and it is not defined by how you look, by how your skin feels.
Beautifully
because
said.
they are very temporary things that can go up and come down and then go up again, But your self-worth, your confidence should stay completely not depending on the current condition of your skin, is what I feel.
Thank you so much. That was beautifully said. When your parents tell you that
Yeah.
no matter how you look, still you'll be loved.
Yes.
Dr. Shivangi, it was a pleasure talking to you, and
Thanks so much.
so many insights, so much help, and I'm sure our viewers will be excited to hear from you. And it was all about self-care, science, feeling good, about your skin. Thanks for sharing all your knowledge, your experience.
Thank you.
Okay, and it was actually a real chat with you, a real talk with you. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed being on this show.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think a lot of people, are going to walk away from the conversation today, about how to feel good, how to look good, and it's all about feeling good from inside out. Okay.
True.
And to everyone listening, remember, skincare isn't vanity. It's a form of self-respect. Whether you are starting out or trying to figure it all out, this episode was your reminder to pause, care, and glow from the inside out. This was Live Your Best Life Unscripted. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay radiant, stay bright, stay real, and keep living your best life.